All right, let's talk a little bit more. The last video was on Sicario 2, Day of the Soldado. So typically, um, people don't really go into detail about what they back, their political ideologies, their religious ideologies, and this is not something that people conversate with each other about. But in the typical, I would say in assassinhood in the assassin world, people know about each other. They know if someone is an assassin or not. They know, what they do, what they don't do. But it's just that they don't talk about it. It's not the nature of conversation to be speaking on things like that. What more can I say? So I'm doing another long version video again. I call it the long version or the long explanation of things, and I'm doing it just because sometimes there's people who don't get things or they need more information or more time to understand. So in the Day of the Soldado, that's very interesting. So that was an interesting movie. There was a lot of funny business that went on. There were reasons why the movie wasn't successful. I mean, the DOJ guy calling Alejandro, telling him to take out a little girl. She was a daughter of of one of the head of the cartels that they basically captured by posing as a rival cartel, so that they would start a war between cartels. And when he got the girl, he was taking her somewhere. That their convoy got attacked, so he had to split. Took her somewhere, and the DOJ guy told him off the little girl, and he said, "I can't do it. I'm not this one. I can't do it. You got to help me get her across the border. You wanted to take her to America." So Day of the Soldado had a lot of controversy in it, and it's sad to see the line of Sicario go that way because the first movie was an absolute, like, it was a masterpiece. It was a hit. Everything in it was accurate. Part two had a lot of cringe moments in it. Day of the Soldado. The fact that they even asked him to kill a little girl was really ridiculous. And on top of that, they're saying, like, how hard it was to make him. That his wife and daughter were killed, and this and that. And they're like, yeah, we'll just make a new one. Like, it's so casual. So it was a bit, I find those things to be cringe. Now Alejandro is left without their help. So without their help, he ends up getting caught. They find out that the little girl, he's trying to take her across the border. The rival cartel finds them, finds out what he's doing, puts a bag over his head, takes him somewhere, and asks a young kid to shoot him in the head. And that young kid does it, and now that young kid is like supposed to like want to become a Sicario. Now they leave, and surprisingly, Alejandro survives because he got shot in the face and the bullet went in his cheekbone. So Alejandro survives, and at the end, he finds a kid in a mall in America. Says, come to my office. Takes him to his office and says, "So you want to be a Sicario?" And that's where it ended. And then they didn't make a part three, so that's where the Sicario line ended, and it ended on a really bad note. Um, a cringe note, and a movie that I thought was not well put together. A movie that I saw once and I didn't want to see again. And I mean, different from part one, because part one I saw over and over again, and I really loved it. So that's a big factor. In the world of assassins and target killers and cartels, it's a rough world, but it's part of a reality. Not so much so for the first world. I'd say the third world, it's a bigger reality. Things happen in the third world. There's a lot of shootings and killings. There's gangs, there's mercenaries, and it can get ugly. Um, Afghanistan has found some luck under the Taliban. They have law and order there, and the law and order situation there is very good. Afghanistan has just hired Afghans to be intelligence, special forces, police. So they're good with that. They are the overlookers or the people in power in that country, which is bringing a lot of uh, which is bringing a lot of revenue. There's people coming in internationally. There's tourism, and there's people coming in to do projects and build stuff and have construction and whatnot. So yeah. What else? So that's Alejandro from Sicario. That's how it ended. He didn't die, but he found the kid who they got to shoot him, and he's like confronting him, like, "So you want to be a Sicario?" And he's still on his game, which is a good thing. But this time, I guess it's without the DOJ, Department of Justice. All right. Here's a great. Okay, no. Okay, so we'll leave this up at where it is.